Richard William Ferraro Jr., Tom Morehouse, Daryl W. Beck, David Foland, J. Jeffrey Kilgore. It is impossible to stand here without being profoundly moved in sadness by the lives cut short by this dread disease, the fathers, the mothers, the brothers, the sisters, the cousins, the friends whose lives were cut short and who are memorialized on these panels, each telling its own story. And it's impossible not to be moved to acknowledge that we've made so much progress, that so many people today, because of the investment and the hard work and the activism and the commitment of so many of those people who remember the time of death and bewilderment and confusion, who fought for the progress that we have made, for housing, for prevention, for a fair shake for those who today live with this disease. And of course, it's hard not to be moved, literally moved, to act, to continue our progress so that we may someday end this pandemic and bring to a close a world where orphans are made, where friends are lost, where people live with stigma day in and day out. The stigma of becoming known as somebody who lives with HIV and worrying about what that means for their job, for their social life, or whatever it may be. It's hard not to be moved to act, and act we will. I'm very happy to announce that working with a group of my colleagues, most of whom have been fighting this disease on Capitol Hill for far longer than I've been on Capitol Hill, we will be introducing legislation this week to fund and set a path for the cure for HIV. The scientists tell us that the moment is now. That 2, 3, 4, 5 years ago, what would have been a distant hope, an unlikely thing, is possible today if we commit ourselves to it. And so hopefully today we are moved by the names, by this quilt, and by the people represented by the names on these quilts to say that we will finally use the commitment, the resources, the work and the effort of this nation to bring this dread disease to a close, not just for Americans, but for people all over the world who suffer still from this disease. Peter McKilligan, Ronnie Hereford, Terry Merton Lemkuhl, Andy Chirac, David D. Schramm.